Welcome back everyone to our gameplay series of Satisfactory. So finally nighttime is about over and daytime is breaking, and it gives us a chance to look at some of the beautiful visuals, some of the great mountains and great formations that you see around the game. Now there's something up on top of that ledge up there, and I don't think we have a way of getting up there just yet, but a little bit later on in the game we should have the material and the equipment we need to get up there. But there's something very interesting up there, and who knows what it might have in store for us. So if you take a look in the top right hand corner, we are currently working on hub upgrade number 3. We've already taken care of the concrete and we've taken care of the iron plates. Now we need to get some cable and we need to get some reinforced iron plates, I believe is what those are called. And first thing, let's see, looks like our miners, yep, they're done. They were holding their maximum of 100, so we'll get those emptied out so they can be on their way. So the next order of business is sort of decide a basic layout of how we want to get this thing started. Obviously, we're going to have some mining equipment right there and replace these stage 1 miners. But I'm thinking I want to go up into that flat area that we looked at in the first video. But we got a little bit of work to do before we can get there. Let's focus for a moment on seeing what we need to do for this cable. So we need 10 cable, and it looks like each cable requires 2 wires. So we need 20 wire. Well, based on the copper that we currently have on us, we're in great shape there. And I believe, yes, wire is the only thing that uses ingots. So we're good to simply use all of the ingots and turn that into wire. And then we'll simply have that later on to turn it into whatever we need. So now we need to make 10 cable. We already had 1 or 2 of those in the inventory. So now we'll come over, drop those cable in there. That's 10 out of 10 there. Now we need a couple of reinforced iron plates. Now one of the changes I made before I started recording is I went in and adjusted the mouse sensitivity. It was going a little bit too fast for my liking in the last video, so I toned it down a little bit for today's video, and we'll see how that goes as to whether or not I want to continue decreasing that. I'm not a big fan of extremely quick mouse movement, and that sensitivity needed to be lowered a little bit. So reinforced iron plates, what do we need? We need 4 iron plates and 24 screws. Okay, so I guess first things first, let's go ahead. I don't see any iron plates that we currently have, so we'll make a few of these. Okay, there we go. There's 14 of them. And then we need screws. So what do we need for screws? Screws require iron rods, and it looks like it's a 6-to-1 ratio. So let's go ahead and cook up a few of these. Remember, we need 2 of these. All right, there we go. And so we needed 24 screws. Okay, excellent. And well, that didn't take long at all. When you got a nice ratio like that, oh, we must have missed, oh yeah, I needed more screws, that's right. We needed 48 screws because we need 2 iron plates. So there we go, there's our 2 iron plates. Drop these in the hub terminal, and we are ready for another upgrade. And kaboom, there we go. So now we're starting to see this thing take shape a little bit more. We've now got a ladder that we can use to climb up top here, which should be very handy later on. Our handy assistant is trying to talk to us, but I'm not really interested in what she's talking about right now. So let's take a little bit of a tour of our new room. We've got a couple of spaces for bedding. Looks like we've got a cooking area over here, which I doubt will be in use anytime soon. Restroom. Then we've got several computer monitors going over here. It looks like we've got some sort of elk or something, or a moose somewhere in the game world. And then eventually in this particular area there will be a research facility, but we're at least 1 upgrade away from that right now. But the good news is, if we come in and take a look at what we can now build, we've got some more items. We've had the smelter and the constructor. We got those last time. But now under power, we still got the pole and the line, but under logistics, we now have conveyor poles and belts. That is very nice. And we also have some new foundations and ramps that we can deal with and really start the building process. You can see these foundations require concrete, which we should have no trouble getting as much concrete as we need. And then of course we got some walls that we can put up there. And it looks like these are basically the same. It just depends on what we want the look to be. It's going to require some iron plating as well as some concrete. Special we don't have any need for. We've already placed down our hub. So now we need to place down our very first smelters. But before I get too deep into smelting, I really want to make sure we have a lot of material. So we're going to convert some of this raw iron into some ingots. Because if you'll notice, one of the things we could not build is the mining, the auto miner. That is one more upgrade away from us at this point. And so until I can get that as well as the storage, I really don't want to get too firm on a layout for any of this. All right, so we're going to cook up a few more of these. We'll get up to, let's say, 100 of the iron ingots. We are 10 away now. And there we go. We're done. So we now have everything we need. Let's take a look in the terminal and just get an idea of what's coming up next. There we go. There's our Mk1 miner that we're certainly waiting for, along with a storage container that I am very much looking forward to. And to do that, we're going to need a lot of iron, 100 iron plates and 75 rods, 20 concrete, which will be no issue at all, and then 20 cable. So we're going to need some iron, we're going to need the limestone, and then we're going to need the copper. All right, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and head down. And we're going to do a little bit of mining. So for right now, I have not made any sort of a miner for the limestone, as we really don't need large quantities of it right now. So I'm doing the mining on the limestone manually until we get that Mk1 miner up and running, and then we'll be in much better shape. But for right now, this is certainly no big deal. And really only the second time, I believe, we've had to come down here and get this limestone. But in the future, this is going to be huge because we're going to need lots and lots of concrete for foundations. And I cannot wait to get started with that. But we got one more upgrade that we need to get done before we get too serious about that. All right, so that's 30. Actually, I think it's a 3-to-1 ratio, and we only needed 10, is that right? I've already forgotten what numbers it told me that we were going to need. Go ahead and pick up some of this this biomass or potential biomass as we're moving around. There are also some other plants you can use for different colors. Use the petals off of some of those. All right, so let's go ahead and select this milestone so it'll pop up on the top right-hand corner of the screen. All right, so actually we needed 20 concrete. Of course we did. So let's go ahead and take care of the initial concrete that we need. It's going to be so much fun when we finally get some first level of automation in here and no longer have to worry about doing all of this manually. Okay, so iron plates, we're going to need 100 of those. So let's go ahead and convert some more of this raw iron into some ingots, because what I'm looking for right now is, actually we can go ahead and do part of this. You see that we need 75 rods. We can make 123. So let's go ahead and make our 75 rods. And then we'll get back to work on those plates. But these are very easy to make. And then before too long, we'll be making these in an automated fashion. There we go. When you need 75, why not make 76? It's kind of like filling up your car with gas and you're trying to stop it on an even dollar and can't do it. You go $10.01. I've done that so many times. All right, iron plates. We got enough for 25 of those right now. We're going to need some more iron, but the good news is our miners have been working hard for us, and that shouldn't be too big of an issue. But we'll get what we can out of this. Looks like we're going to get a little over halfway through, and then we'll go pick up some other raw iron from And let's see. There we go. Let's cook this up as quickly as we can. You can see all the sparks flying as we're crafting. And this thing heats up. Hopefully that's never going to backfire on us, that it heats up like that. All right, there we go. So now we got 56. And let's go ahead and see what we can do with this cable. So we need 20 cable. Oh yeah, we're perfectly fine here. And let's go ahead and take care of that while we're here. Let's see, we got 11. And okay, yeah, we had plenty. All right, we'll go ahead and make having a few extra along the way. All right, so that leaves us needing some concrete as well as some iron. No problem, we'll take care of that. These guys, once again, have filled up, so they're waiting for us to come and empty them before they can get back to work. All right, and these poor generators are just waiting patiently over here. We've got one generator currently, and we've got a space for another generator, which will happen probably with the next update. I forget exactly when we get it, but we'll have 2 generators. But for right now, these guys aren't doing anything because I'm choosing to hold off. All right, there we go. Let's cook up some more iron ingots, and we need 44 more of the iron plates. So I think they do this intentionally to you at the beginning of the game to make you wait a little while as this thing crafts up all of this rather than being very quick, because they really want you to enjoy it once you get to the point of having automation for this stuff. And at that point, we'll simply be able to go by either the factory or the storage and simply pick up everything that we need. All right, there we go. There's 44. And thankfully, these iron plates cook up a lot quicker than the raw iron. So there we go. We're done. So if my calculations were even close to correct, all we need now is a little bit of concrete. So we'll go hop down and take care of this. I'm sort of keeping one eye open for any bad guys that might show up. I know we've already killed one down here who was thankfully sort of hung up in the foliage and couldn't get to us. But you never know when they're going to respawn. I have no idea if they're on a timer or they're waiting for us to leave the area or how that works. But we certainly want to make sure they don't get to creep up on us. All right, so it's a 3-to-1 ratio. We need 3 limestone for 1 bag of concrete. So we'll need at least 30 limestone here, and then we'll be in business. All right, there we go. We'll stop at the 30. And unfortunately, they have placed this at a part where I have to go around, at least for right now. Again, there's going to be technology that we'll have access to a little bit later on, which will change that. But for right now, I'm still having to walk around, collect a little biomass along the way. And now let's make some concrete. Let's make that 10 concrete right quick. There we go. Drop it in the hub terminal. And we are ready to upgrade. All right, what do we got? So now we have, as we take a look around, we've got, of course, new buildings and player upgrades. Here's our second power generator. Excellent. So again, we've got our second tier there. Now we look in here. Okay, still no research, so it's not quite ready yet. We apparently have yet another upgrade to go. All right, so in here, everything is looking good. Now, we can start to plan out because we have access to the Mk1 miner. And for that, we're going to need one of the miners that we've already got sitting out there. We'll call it our first auto miner. We're going to need some iron rods and some more concrete. So I'm thinking what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and try to make up a few of these, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've gathered up a few resources, and I think I've got what we need to get going. So I took care of the limestone. I dropped down and got plenty or at least what I hope is plenty of limestone, turn that into concrete that we're going to need, because each one of these miners is going to need 5 concrete, and I've got enough for 4 of these miners. We're going to need 1 for limestone, a couple for the iron, and then finally 1 for copper. And then, so we'll get these placed down, then we'll start working on our energy network. So let's go ahead and get these things taken care of. We're going to pick this up. And let's see, the way we're going to face this, I want to do everything up there as much as possible. So we're going to have a little fun with this. And we're going to select the miner. And we're going to need to spin this around so that the output is going in that direction. I think that's good. Let's see. Okay, that's a little bit better. We'll make sure that we don't run into the side of the hill, anything like that. All right, so let's see how that's going to look as we get our conveyor belts coming out. Okay, yeah, that should be fine, because I'm going to try to wind these things around and then start somewhere up in this area and then work my way down in that direction for whatever our end products are for right now. And then we'll get those products from there and take them to wherever else we're going to be doing some work. Let's go ahead and open up, pick up this miner. That'll give us the 100 iron ore as well as that portable miner. Okay, let's now come in back to our miner. We need to get, let's see how this is looking. I like that right there. Let's do that. That should be a good direction. Now, for right now, we don't have any technology to either combine conveyor belts, merge them, or to split them. So we're going to have to keep separate conveyor belts for now, which is, I think, going to be fine. One of the things we'll need to figure out going forward is how many of the smelters can this thing power? Is it just a 1-to-1 ratio, or is it 1-to-2 or 2-to-1? We'll have to find out as time goes on. I don't remember from the original alpha test weekend. Again, didn't have a chance to do a whole lot with that. So now, let's find out, what are we going to need in order to get busy on our power grid? Okay, so a power pole is going to take some concrete. Okay, we're going to need some more concrete then, because I've only got enough right now basically for a few more auto miners. But power lines are going to be, all right, a 20-to-1 right now. So we got plenty of power line, I believe, right now with our cable. Do we have ability to make any more cable? Yes, we do. All right, so let's go ahead and make a little bit more of that. So we'll need some more concrete. But right now, we are going to need another of these miners, and I don't remember what we need for that. So portable miner, apparently we got everything we need, because we can make 7 of them. I don't need 7 of them. I just need the 1, I believe, right now. And let's come over to the side. And right there, let's see if we can put down a miner, and which direction do we want to go. Now, this is one of those times it would be really nice for me to know exactly where we're headed with this. What are our final products, and how many levels am I going to need on the factory, and areas and that kind of thing. But I have no idea. So I'm just going to shoot this thing over in that direction. And we're going to let that be it. All right. And now we'll come back over and let's go put the final one up here with the copper. So you can see we're going to need quite the network of power poles and power lines in order to get this thing working. The good news is I think we've got all the resources we need, or if we don't, we can probably get them very quickly. Okay, so now the next question is, what do I want to do here with the copper? Let's see, we want the miner, and which direction do we want it to output? I'm kind of thinking that direction, and then we'll get down here next to the floating rock and sort of work in that direction. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but that's what we're going to do. And so we'll just simply run our conveyor belts down the hill there. And at the same time, now that we're up on top of the hill, again, I can't get rid of the trees right now. Maybe we'll have technology for that later. But you can see the belts are going to be coming off in this direction. My goal is, or at least what I'm thinking is my plan right now, is to put down a couple of storage containers right in this area, and then smelters behind that, and then our other factory machinery back there until we get somewhere over in this area. And I want to leave a nice little path for our vehicles to run through to pick up and drop off as needed right in through this area. At least that's the plan. How close we'll be able to get to that, I have zero idea right now. But what I do know is we need to work on some power lines so we can get our power grid up and operating. So let's see, what do we need for that? We are actually going to need, we're going to need some more concrete. So let's go ahead and get some more concrete. We're going to need a lot more concrete, actually. And all of this is so that we can get these guys up and running so that they can actually start mining for us and doing all of this tedious manual work for us. So we're going to need several power poles. And remember, we're at a 3-to-1 ratio with limestone to concrete. And if memory serves me, the power poles take 1 concrete each, which would be for the foundation, I would imagine. So not too bad. Again, it's going to be interesting as this series progresses to see how many wrong decisions I end up making along the way, simply because I have no idea where we're going. And then, of course, there will be times where I'll make the wrong decision simply because I mess it up. So those are actually some of the most fun times, because then I got to figure out if I can fix it, and if so, how do I go about fixing it? All right, so we're going to pick up, we'll just say 40 of these. We'll head back up to the top. And you can see if we look out into the distance, I mean, of course, there's another bad guy there, which means there must be some sort of resource nearby, because that's usually where they hang out, is near the resources. We got some other creature going over there. So yeah, there's resources scattered. I see a few there in the distance. So we're going to be eventually branching out in a lot of different directions. But for right now, we're just trying to get the basics up and running. Some sort of basic copper and iron setup. All right, now let's make our concrete. We got enough for 13. Hopefully that'll be enough to last us a little while. All right, so now if we come in, power pole, what does it need? It needs 1 concrete, 10 iron rods, and some copper wire. All right, let's go ahead and make a few more of these iron rods. Okay, well, maybe not. Let's make a few more iron rods by first making some more ingots. The good news is we get quite a few iron rods for our work and our efforts here, so we'll go ahead and do, okay, we'll go ahead and do that. We've got 100 copper ingots. I went and gathered those and then crafted up the ingots. So we're going to go ahead and craft quite a bit of wire. No sense in running low on wire. And now we can come back over. So I'm going to put this first one sort of right out in this area, because its goal is going to be as our initial branch. So we're going to do power pole there. And there it is. Each power pole gets 4 connections only. So we know 2 of them are going to come from these 2 power producing machines. And then we're going to have a couple more, one that will branch off in this direction, and then another that I'm going to need to branch off down to the bottom so that I can take care of our limestone. So now we're going to press 2, and we're going to start hooking up these power lines. There we go. So there's 2 of our connections. And I want to go back to our power pole. And I don't know how far I can go with this, how far these power lines will stretch. So I tell you what, we're going to put one right here. And of course that will be for each of these, at least for the time being. That's what we're hoping will work. And can we, in fact... Yes, we can reach it that far. Okay, excellent. So then that puts us at what? 3 connections here. Okay, so before I run out of connections, I need to... Oh, there's one. He's respawned. Unfortunately, he's very mad at us and can't get to us right now, which is good for him. All right, so where is our pole? Let's go ahead and put this one down about right there. And we're going to connect these up. Now, that's 4 out of 4 here, so we're done from this area. So now what I'm going to have to do, before I get too carried away and use up all my connections with this power line, I'm going to have to make sure I get power extended out from there. So let's go ahead and do that. And to do that, I'm going to try to hop up here real quick. And we're just going to put one right about there. All right, there we go. So now we've made sure that we've extended out. So we've got 2 connections on this one, plus these 2, that'll be 4. And take care of that one, which means that any further connections will have to come off of this one. I don't currently plan on there being any additional connections that are needed down in this area, but time may change that. Let's go ahead and connect up our machinery now. Okay, there we go. So that's all done. Let's go back to our power poles. Do we have enough? Yes, we should be in really good shape there. So let's go ahead and extend out. Where's our bad guy? Where is he at? I would like to go ahead and take care of him, if possible. There he is. He snuck up on me. All right, come on. We need to be a little quicker here with our... Oh, I thought I hacked him. Yeah, you can see he's doing damage. Where did he go? Oh, he's doing his speed running thing. All right, so this time we lost a lot of health. For some reason, I was getting a lot of lag right there, and it was really slow to use the zapper. That was getting intense, way more intense than I wanted it to be. All right, so now we need to get some healing taken care of. So let's go ahead and put these in our hand, and we'll just go ahead and eat down all of that we've got. Do we have any berries on us? No, we do not. Okay, no big deal. I don't think we're going to be in any danger in the near future, but who knows? We might figure out what happens when you have to respawn. Okay, so now goal number 1 is to reach the power over to the other power pole. Or excuse me, not the power pole. The... all right, what is this? This is... Ooh, Caterium. Okay, okay. Don't know what we're going to do with that yet, or even if we can do anything with it yet. Because keep in mind, we are in early access. All right, so then we're going to put down, let's go ahead and put down a power pole on the other side of this. And the reason being, at some point, I would imagine we're going to be branching off in these other different directions. And just seems like a good idea to go ahead and get one on that side. Okay, so now that's 2 connections on each of these and just 1 connection there. Of course, we're going to turn that into a second connection. There we go. All right, so we are in good shape there. That looks good. Hopefully we're not going to have any bad guys creep up on us. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so everything is connected. Now we're going to go create some biomass, or at least everything in this area is connected. We'll get everything fired up with some power, and then we're going to need to make some storage containers and all sorts of fun stuff like that as we begin, finally, to put some automation in place for some smelting. And then we'll work our way up to the copper and get that process up and running as well. So we got a lot to do, and unfortunately we're not going to be able to get to all of it today in today's video, but I could play this game for hours. Let's drop off a few things there. We're going to use that. We're actually going to make some biomass. Let's make biomass from leaves right now, since that's what we've got on us. And how much did we end up making? Where did it go? There we go, 48. Okay, that'll last a little while in one of them, but that's not all we certainly can make. Go ahead and right click, split the stack, and let's make some more. Okay, we can make 150 this time. That's more like it. That will certainly keep these things going for quite a while. And then in the future, as we get more upgrades, we'll be able to have more generators and so on. All right, so let's go ahead and get the power on, even though it's really going to be kind of a waste, but I'm ready to get this thing started. All right, let's go ahead and put 99 in here. Well, maybe. All right, come on. There we go. Not sure why I didn't want to take it before, but we'll just go ahead and use Shift, and now we've got power generating. You see the green lights up. Now we've got our power poles going. You can see green here for the miners. So right now they're just going to be filling up their inventory because we haven't given them anywhere to go. We've got a few iron plates here. Let's see what I can do with this. Let's go ahead and bring this up to there. And let's see where we want to go from here. All right, so right about here is where I think I want to go. Again, we'll see how well this works out. Okay, we'll go ahead and put that one in that area. Now we need to connect these guys up. All right, let's get this. Am I seriously stuck? I am seriously stuck. Oh my goodness. All right, so I think we're good now. Basically what I just did is dismantle the conveyor belt, and that should get us going. Okay, now you can see again, everything is stopping up here right now because that's certainly not a big deal for us. Now the next question is, can I get through here with this conveyor belt? And the answer is, I have no idea. All right, will you let me through here? Yes, it does appear. All right, there we go. So conveyor belts are at least starting. Now you can see the iron ore, which is pretty awesome, by the way, that we can follow the graphics and see all of these items moving from point A to point B. So here comes the iron ore up there, and I believe we're going to be running out of materials. So we're going to go into organization, see what we need to build some storage containers. And we need, okay, actually we're not too bad. We need some iron plates and iron rods to build some storage containers. And we'll take care of that, and that'll be the last thing we'll be able to do in today's video. Let's go ahead and cook up a few ingots right quick. And we're actually going to need at least 10 iron plates. Okay, make sure we got that selected, and all right, let's select our storage container. And what do we need? No, we don't quite have enough. Miscalculated a little bit on how many we needed of the iron plates. So we're just going to go ahead and cook up several extra here to make sure we've got enough for 2 storage containers, because what I want to do is get these storage containers up and running and at least have somewhere for the iron ore to go for now, while we're working on getting our smelting up and going in our next video. So now we're going to head right back up top. And oh, that didn't work out well. All right, now let's see. Let's put one. Okay, the input will need to be on this side. And we'll put one right there. And then I'm going to put one. I really can't see what I need to see here. We're going to try to line this up as best we can. All right, let's see how that turns out. as far as their directions. And okay, that's not terrible. It's certainly not the best that can possibly be done with it. But now, so we'll run this conveyor belt line into the first one. And then, oh, did we run out of materials? Of course we did. Of course we did. But we're not ending this video until we get this conveyor hooked up to this storage. So we're going to stay with it for just a bit longer. So I think all we're actually lacking is, well, no, we're actually lacking both of those. So how about that? We need quite a bit more material right now. All right, let's go ahead and get the iron plates. We'll get several of those. Okay, then we'll cook up the ingots we need for the iron rods. So this will give us everything that we need, hopefully, plus some that we can use to get started next time. All right, so work our way up right here. And conveyor, let's see, are we going to be able to come around? Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and make it. There we go. And so now these guys will empty into the storage container, and you can see there's a lot of room in here. So that gives us plenty of time now to work our way through the smelting process and get some things all set up. So when we come back next time, we'll work on some smelters back in this area. We'll have probably several of these. I'm not sure. Again, we'll have to figure out the ratio that we're going to need. But I'm envisioning at least 4 of those smelters with these 2 Mark 1 miners going on. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully you're enjoying this as much as I am as we continue our gameplay series of Satisfactory.